This is Mass X with a brand new Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade video, and I wanted to go over some stuff that got released today to make sure people are clear on it, because I do think it's misleading, especially if you're not aware of how these things are calculated. But I hope you went in and got your New Year gift, your extra 3,000 cubes. But what we really want to talk about now is state of the game. Now, the revenue report for December that was just uploaded on Reddit, and I'll have a link for it in the description, for revenue for December is combined, so it's very misleading. You're going to see for November it's 12 million. That's not what it was for global. That is combined with Japan and global, and shows 11 million, only a 1 million drop, where at first glance you would be like, oh wow, especially after just releasing, that's a really small drop off. But that's not really the case here. When it came out, the version of global, it did approximately 7 million in December, not 12. 5 million of that is attributable to Japan. So yeah, I think you're going to see where I'm going with this one. Now, if you actually look at the breakdown of figures for December for global, it's showing 4 million. It dropped almost half. Now, I want to preface this. That is expected, okay? Game first month is always going to do a lot. There's always a drop off on month 2. In this particular case, it's actually better than what you would have thought, because it was less than a half drop. So they brought in 4 million, and that 11 million figure is made up mostly of Japan. They did 7 million. They were 2 million up over the previous month. But the other big concern when you think about longevity in the game is, in month 1, they had total downloads of 4 million. For month 2, they had total downloads of 800K. That means they dropped 80% in their downloads. And I'm sure it has to do with the bad publicity and everything that was going along with this game, and the rush. And we're going to have a separate video on that one, because I didn't know the embargo was off, but clearly it is. We do know how January partially is going to play out, and that's going to be another big thing. It's not going to be a surprise to anybody, but we'll get to that. But this, we're focusing on what is really going on in the game. And yeah, 4 million, what that means is your spenders didn't leave at all. Your light spenders dropped off a lot is what this means. And your downloads is really, that's where, to me, the biggest concern comes into play, because you're not garnering that interest. Why? Because of how this game was handled for rollout. Now, I think they've been very much trying as best as maybe they can, not a normal person, and you've been able to hoard resources. There's been no banners to really have to pull on. You just do your events and just keep hoard right now, knowing that we're going to see another push coming at the first quarter of 2025, which then is going to in turn probably bring out more bad publicity. And if these downloads continue to go down, and if the global revenue continues to go down, then I would be concerned if I was them. It's clearly showing people aren't happy on the global landscape. But yeah, don't be misled. Global did not do 12 million. Global did 4 million. That is predominantly Japan. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how they read this. If I'm a betting man, they're not going to care. They want to see 3-4 months and then reevaluate. You generally don't reevaluate after month 2. You reevaluate after you have a full quarter of figures, and if it continues to go down and the downloads continue to drop significantly, then of course you then have to go in and think, how can we right this ship? Hopefully it's not too late. I don't see it going anywhere. Sadly, this IP is too strong on its own. People are just going to still push through and play it, such as I. And it is what it is. So I don't see it going anywhere. But if they really want to maximize their revenue, they really need to step back. If this continues, and if global drops, let's say, down to 2 million a month, and downloads fall under 500K, I think they really do need to do some reevaluation and hopefully get this game where it should be. Because if you're going to rush it, you need to then have everything available to your community. So that means you're having your auto AI system upgraded like it should be, like Japan. It should be having the pity tickets, and you really need to attempt to compensate without going overboard to your community. And I think they've done that a little better in December than they had the previous month. I think on that note, it has been an improvement. But if you're going to push this game to go as quick as you are, you need to give us all the tools, which means, and sadly, this should have been done prior to rollout. We should have just gotten a version of the game that is maybe one behind Japan. That's what we should have gotten. And this mess would not be nearly as bad. It's not going to change the banner situation. But if you look at the Japanese banners right now, you'll see there's like 6 or 7. It's crazy there too. So we're not getting thrown under the bus alone. They do that in Japan too, where there's a ton of really good banners. And of course with Sukuna, they brought back Teen Gojo limited banner. They brought back Toji's. And then you've also got your first rerun of Movie Zero with those characters. So yeah, everybody wants to tout how much better Japan is. And it is, because it has the pity tickets and it has a much better auto system with the AI. But when it comes right down to spending and banners and all that stuff, yeah, they're throwing it down too. You came out of Anniversary with 2 stellar units into now Sukuna, and of course Movie Zero rerun, and of course multiple other banners, like I said, with the hidden inventory characters. So, but yeah, so I just want to put that out there. That's pretty much where this game is at for December. So for global, realistically, yes, it did take a drop, both by downloads and economically. Don't be misled by what you see out there, because I want to make sure it's clear the differences. So it did have an impact on the game, what occurred. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.